First, I'm going to comment on two diverse topics, really. The first is what's wrong with Korean democracy, and this expresses the disillusionment of most, probably, South Koreans with democracy, maybe. I don't think with democracy, but with the sloppiness of democracy. Probably South Koreans had, or many South Koreans had, a distorted view of what democracy would bring. To expect politicians to be honest and idealistic is, of course, absurd. Sorry, it's absurd. So that by replacing the corrupt regimes, really, of Chun Do-hwan and No Tae-woo with the elected officialdom of democracy, in expecting that the corruption would go away, insofar as Koreans did expect that, I think they were naive. I think more worldly people did not expect that because it's simply unrealistic. It seems to me, and I would propose this to you, it seems to me that democracy is the best system, not because it's glorious or flawless, but simply because it's better than the alternative. You've tried the alternative, everybody's tried the alternative, and mostly the alternative is worse. Or, putting it another way, quantitatively, statistically, the number of people who benefit from democracy is greater than the number of people who benefit from other systems. Or, presenting it a third way, with China in mind, great numbers of people have benefited from the Chinese system. But what really has happened in China is the creation of a middle class, an expanded middle class. And an expanded middle class will want democracy. An expanded middle class historically wants power, feels it deserves power. And this will happen in China too, of course, is happening, of course. Chinese leadership has been very enlightened and has yielded in various ways, but in the end there will be a clash between the Communist Party and the expanded middle class in China, just as has happened in every other country. Where the middle class expands, the middle class wants power. It has the wealth, it should have at least some of the power. Okay, now, so our first topic then is Korean democracy, and you decide whether democracy is better than its alternatives. The second essay is, I'm afraid, 10 years old. It's out of date, and it openly deals with the 90s. At the beginning of the 90s, which is roughly when I came to this country, the neo-Confucianists had a vote, had a voice. I would say they have no voice, no vote at all anymore. They represent the most conservative Hanara element, and these have gone down to defeat and will continue to go down to defeat entirely. At the beginning of the 90s, Korea had no divorce problem. Now Korea has the second highest divorce rate in the world. Sorry, all talk of neo-Confucianism is hopelessly sentimental, hopelessly reactionary, hopelessly, what's the word? Anachronistic, an anachronism. So this second essay, I'm afraid, is a total anachronism. Yes, Asians want and need democracy. No, they will not reject it. Japan will certainly keep its democracy. Korea will certainly keep its democracy. And China will seek more and more, the middle class, will seek more and more democracy. This is irreversible. To take democracy away from a country is to invite a civil war. In the end, that's what it will produce. So I'm not worried about that. Democracy is here to stay, and soon it will be here to stay. Soon. In 20 years, it will be even in China in some form. But you could discuss that. But if any of you want to defend the neo-Confucian values, I'm afraid no one will listen. No Korean I know would even dare to voice such views anymore. So I leave you then with these questions. What is the condition of democracy in Korea now, in South Korea, of course? What is, given the fact that democracy, full democracy, is only 12 years old, is it strong? I would argue that it's still strong. The Nomuhyun Yalinulidang experiment will evolve as it has to evolve within a framework of democracy. And anyone who actually opposes democracy, I think, has no chance of success in South Korea. That's what I would argue. You try.